Hello, and welcome to Sunday Artist Talk. I'm your host, Lois Stone, owner of Stone Art Supply and abstract artist. Today, we are going to be talking with Karen Tillman, multifaceted artist in the Chicago area. Karen is a painter, but not only painting, her works are remind you of, for me, Wakana. There's so much pattern in her work that you really have to see it. So Karen, we're going to get started, and can you give us a little bit of your background? How did you become a creative?
Grew up on the west side of Chicago, which is now called East Garfield Park. And it all started at the Chicago Boys and Girls Club on Sacramento and Washington. And when I was young, instead of most people would go to the boys club to play pool, basketball, swim, I would go to the art department. And I never forget Miss Allen is the one that taught me and had me embrace art. And also my older brother, he was an artist as well. So just seeing him doing his thing, and I'm like, this is so cool, the things that he can do. So some kind of way, I started dibbing and dabbing, and I fell in love with the bright colors. So ever since then, I went to high school, was heavy duty in high school, heavy duty in college. I went to the International School of Merchandising and Technology, and I did heavy art there too. But I kind of got out of it because I was a single mom, and you doing mom duties. But I started embracing it again. I would say probably 10 years ago, and I've been going full force since then. I started off painting wine glasses, and then from there I did small canvases, and now I try to do big canvas pieces as well. So I just love the vibrant colors. So that's pretty much it. And I'm just going heavy duty now. I may take my technique that I use is dots. I'm not really good as a figure drawer. I have to see the item in front of me. I can't draw from memory. I have to see it and draw it. The pieces behind me, I did an art party, and I had models in front of me, so I was able to draw these two pieces. But it's basically dots. So I can take a piece on a canvas. I can do a small canvas and go for 2 weeks to the pieces behind me for 2 months, because it's like non-stop painting. You have to really focus because you want your dots to be a certain size. And yeah, that's it.
Wow, that's a beautiful one. When I look at your work, it reminds me of the body art that's done in Africa.
Yes,
A lot
yes,
of African art. That's what it reminds me of.
yes, yes.
And it's so. What draws you to patterns? Some people, I guess, are drawn to whatever their lexicon is, whatever their imprint is. But the pattern that
Mhm.
seems to be your forte is to really work with pattern. I noticed the piece behind you with the body.
Mhm.
Um, that pattern. I mean, it's really a figurative drawing, but it's embraced with that pattern. You know,
Yeah,
and
and
I've seen you do. Go ahead.
I was gonna say it's simple, just thinking of a dot, but you can take a lot of dots and form different pictures and things like that. And it makes me think about the first time I went to the Art Institute, and I cannot think of this painting to this day right now. The scene of the park. It's a park
Oh
scene,
yeah,
and it was all done in darts. That artist did the whole painting in darts.
Sunday afternoon with George.
Yes, Sunday afternoon, yes. And when I first saw that, I didn't know it was dots until our instructor told us, and then to get up close and said, this man took all these dots to form this picture. So I'm like, hmm. But
Yeah,
I didn't start doing dots until I would say probably like 5 years ago, though. But you can do so.
yeah. I remember when we really met, we were at a wine sip
Yes.
downstairs,
Yes.
and after the wine sipping was over with, and you got all the wine bottles. I said, "Oh, what's she gonna do with all this? But just to see what you had done with the bottle, can you show us that one behind you? That's right in front of the picture.
This one right here. I don't know. I
Yeah.
don't know what kind of bottle this was, but I liked the bottle. And
Mhm.
I'm like, you know how our oven range is made, and I needed some pop of color in the apartment without painting. So I'm like, why don't I take these, paint them, sit them on top of the oven, and use it for my cooking oils. And now you can have them sitting out, and then they have a lot of color to it. And that's what I did with these bottles. So some people are using them for the cooking oils or just to have them sitting out as decor. So with my art, I can
Oh,
use
okay.
it on canvas, or I can put it on bottles, um, fabrics, everything. But I think it took me about 2 weeks to do this.
2 weeks. It's
And
very intricate. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
but the colors, I really like the colors. I'm like, this is the only way I can bring the color into the house too. So yeah.
And not only the around the bottle, but also it looks like a medallion piece at the top.
Yeah.
That and then wow.
Right.
So you really take the dots to a whole nother level.
Yes. And now every place I go,
Yeah.
someone is always trying to give me wine bottles. I'm like, I have enough.
Yeah. So tell me what when you're working, what other inspiration do you use for your work? You know, what inspires you to come
Um,
up with the designs and patterns, or what artists do you admire that give you inspiration for your work?
I haven't. I've seen a lot of the uh, Indian art, the mandolins and things like that. But I didn't want it to make it form because some people was like, "Oh, the religious thing. Are you a Buddhist?" and things like that. But it's pretty much the brightness of the colors. I like colors. Although I might wear a lot of black, the only way I can bring a lot of color is when I paint. And I just love the colors. I try to use the opposite colors on the color wheel to do items and things like
Okay. Okay.
that. Just how to express yourself with the color, and I just
Yeah.
love the bright colors.
Mhm.
So
It also reminds me. I'm sorry. It also kind of reminds me of the Indian art when the Buddhist monks make those
yes,
mandalas with the
yes.
sand.
hmm And I
Yeah.
look at a lot of their stuff, and then you think about the art. I like you mentioned like the body work, the hemi paintings on the hands. Most
Okay.
when they do for like the weddings, I like that. And I thought about trying to get into that, but I'm like I do so much, so I'm trying to space it
Yeah.
out. But
Yeah.
I love that. I would love to paint someone's body, their full
Mm.
body. Um, I know I would have to be patient with that, and that person would have to be patient, but I would love to do that.
You know, there's another artist that's a younger artist who does body painting. And she actually went to school with several of my kids over here in Persian. And
Mm-hmm.
that is her work. You know, I wish I should have had you two together because she paints a
Yeah.
lot. You
See, and
know,
I love it. It's so
and
pretty.
it's yeah, it's very intricate and a lot of pattern. But maybe we'll have you all back. You know,
Yeah,
so she
okay,
can
that'd be
show
cool.
you
That'd be
all.
cool.
Yeah, yeah. But so when you're painting, what's your favorite tool to use when you're painting?
So I have when I first started doing dot painting, I would just use things around the house because before,
Mm,
like I said, I started painting wine glasses, and I would hand
mhm.
paint wine glasses where most people use their Cricut to do designs and things like that. I like to say I hand paint my stuff. So I would use like Q-tips, toothpicks, um, anything around the house that had a circular shape at the end. I would use a lot of different things. And I think before I moved here, I had an old dining room table that was white. And I took that whole table and with skewers and toothpicks, I was able to paint the entire
Oh
table. And
wow. Mm,
but when I moved here, it was too big to get into the apartment.
Oh,
And I'm like, they couldn't, the screws were all rusted. They couldn't take it loose. So the movers, the head mover guy, he was glad to like, I'll take it. So I wonder till today, what is he doing on my table? It probably looks really nice in his apartment. But now I have dotting tools. There's so many dotting tools out there that you can buy. So I usually go through a set of dotting tools, and it's probably time for me to buy some again. But I have two different types of dotting tools that I use. And with those tools, they give you different shapes of dots. And every now and then I might go back to a toothpick or something like that. But I need that perfect dot. And I have found the tools. And like I said, there are some tools out there that I want to try. So I'll probably buy those just to try them out. Because I want to be able to take the tools that I use not only on canvas and use it for on fabric, because I want to do a big piece on a piece of fabric, do a big tapestry. So I'm looking to do that probably in July.
And have you been showing other than social media, where else have people been able to see your work?
Well, because of the pandemic, I wanted to do the 57th Street Art Fair, but I didn't want to do it virtual. So I was kind of iffy if I should sign up for it, and I'm glad I didn't because it's virtual. But I know they probably hate that they announced that it's virtual now that the city is opening back up. I'm looking for a different event. I want to do the Pitchfork Music Festival, because I now make instant holders. And I'm sorry I don't have any here as an example, because they only make them as people order them. But what I take is a simple flower pot and a CD, an old CD. You know, you had your blank CDs. No one uses these anymore.
Right.
So I've collected like maybe 100 or something. And I'm like, I don't know what I'm gonna do with them, but I want these. So I started painting them, and then I take an old flower pot, and then I make instant holders. And I paint the flower pot the same color as the disc, and I maneuver it together, and then you can put incense on top. And I have it on my website. And the way you insert the incense into the holder, the ashes fall directly on the thing without you worrying about it. So that's a good buyer, a good seller. And it's perfect. I think it'll be perfect for like Pitchfork people, because for Christmas, I gave them away to the people on my floor because they were smoking a lot of weed. And I got tired of smelling it. So I gave everyone an incense holder with like 10 incense, and haven't had a problem since then.
Wow.
So those are good little things.
All right, so I don't need to write any letters. Okay, thank you.
Yeah, I'm telling on there, you know, I tell everything. But but I'm looking for, I noticed a couple of things are coming up, and I'm trying to be careful what I pick to present it, because I don't know who's going to be open to my work. I have done the Hyde Park event. What is that, handmade event?
Yeah.
But I don't know if they're doing that yet.
I haven't heard from them, because usually I will do the community art fair in Hyde Park same day as the 57th Street Art Fair.
Right.
Since they're not doing it this year, I was like, oh wow, you know, where am I going to show? So
right,
artists are all online now. You know,
yes.
Everybody is on Instagram. Everybody's on. You know, the art world has really changed. You know,
has.
for all art. You know,
yes.
we're going to have to pivot, as they say, to showing our work in a different way, and,
yes.
and selling in a different way.
And then I think I mentioned to you, like the first of the year, I think it was, where a customer who lived in Hyde Park told me about Phil's coffee shop. And she's like, you can hang your work there for a month in their windows. So that was the first thing that I did this year, and that went very well. And I think I want to do it again during the summer because they have outdoor seating outside a coffee shop, and I think that would be perfect
Yeah.
to display my work. So I'm looking for things like that, but I would really like to do an event where I can have more of my work out without paying an arm and a leg
Oh,
to do an event. So
I
yeah,
know. Hey, I know people enjoy your work, and the pattern is really what inspires, to be able to have that kind of detail. It's just very,
yeah.
very different. So where do you see yourself going from here? Do you want to be, do you see your art getting more into the finer art on canvas, or, do you think you'll be in pretty much doing everything that you do?
I want to go larger. Like I said, I want to
Okay.
do tapestries, and I want to license some of my work because I want to get my work on some shows based in Chicago or wherever. When I watch a new show, instead of focusing on the actors, I look at the background, at the art that they have on the wall, and then I'm thinking, ooh, I want to get some of my work out there. I think it's an artist in Chicago. Her pieces are on Grace and Frankly. Frankie, have you ever watched that show? It comes on Netflix, I think. Jane Fonda, and one of the character is an artist, and she shows work of this artist in Chicago like it's her work. So I'm like, how did she do that? Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I can't think of her name, and I'm bad with names of artists and things like that. But I just want to go bigger, and I want to have more time to do my work. I'm hoping to retire in maybe 2 years, and where I can spend more time painting. Right now, what I do, I get up at 5 in the morning, feed and walk the dog, and then I come back in for 3 hours. I'm painting, and then I will go to work at like 10 o'clock in the morning. So I find myself spending more time painting and still doing an 8-hour job. And it's tiring, but I've been doing it.
Oh yeah, I totally agree, and I totally do the same thing.
Yeah,
So it's hard for me to get into painting in the evening, but on the weekends and during the morning is my best
yeah.
time.
And then I feel bad because now it's getting nice out. And I, like you said, on the weekend, I can get up at like 5 in the morning, at 6 o'clock. I can paint all day, but I'm like, I'm missing all this great weather. So what I think I'm gonna do is start moving stuff outside and working outside, just so I can enjoy the weather. And the outside would probably motivate me. I hung out on on the lakefront this weekend, and it was really nice just sitting out there. But I would love to
Yeah.
go out there and get a spot to work. So that is,
Yeah, so I totally agree. I think we're in the same place. I was reading an article not too long ago about women who are no, I was listening to a Facebook show about women, and they put everybody else first, and now they're finally getting to their art. At
yes,
whatever age they are. And they're finally getting their work seen, or even just doing their art.
right,
Because you've raised your kids, you've done your job, and
right,
you and
right,
we are we're still going to work every day, but finding time to create. I would love to
right,
just create.
all
How
day.
about space wise? Is it because I have a difficult time. I don't have an outside studio, so we're
Right.
pretty much doing our work in our
That
house.
that is very hard.
I'm doing large scale stuff, so large as I can get for a three.
Right, right. And see, and I want to go larger, but then I have to take into effect that I got my brother here, and then I got the dog, and then I have carpet. You don't want paint on the carpet. So, like I said, when I was in Hyde Park, I had all this space. So now I have to try to maneuver ways to paint. So right now I use half of my bedroom as my art space. I went from a queen size bed to a full size bed. And I'm like, dang, am I have to go to a twin size bed just so I can have more room to paint? because I need a big blank wall. So I'm debating about that, but it's hard finding space, and I really didn't want to rent space. I would rather buy a condo, a house or something where I can have more space. So I'm leaning towards that too, but I have to figure out if I want to retire, because I want all these things, but I want to retire. And I'm like, I don't know how much money I think I'm gonna get retired and still be able to create. So that's where I am right now. So I have to figure it out.
That's the goal. It's a continue. That's the goal. Is to continue to create, and
Yes.
you know,
Yeah.
that's the goal. So I think we're on a lot of places the same place. You know,
Right.
a lot of spaces we're experiencing at the same time. You know.
Right.
You know. So where can we find your work?
So I have a website, which I load
Okay.
my work on there every now and again, and I have some items there now that I sell prints of my work. So this one piece of the woman, I've been selling a lot of prints of that and some other work, but it's kelizabethdecor.com. That's kelizabethdecor.com. And like I said, if on their website, you will see work that I've done for past clients, and it can go anywhere from pillows to incense holders and to pieces on canvas. I do it all. I think they want
You know, that's important. Yeah, that's important that artists have several streams of income. You know,
Yes, yes,
because you can do great masterpieces, but in the meantime, you still have to sustain yourself. Because if
right.
we were totally dependent on that, you know, we would
Yeah.
need more than one stream of income.
Right, right,
Yeah,
right.
yeah. All right. Well, thank you so much for joining us today, and I hope
Thank
people find it
you.
interesting. I know I do. So we'll look for your work again, Karen, and that other artist is able to come on. Let's come back and talk
And I'm
about
looking,
the pattern.
yes, and that would be great because actually I'm looking to do an event for all artists before the summer is over. So I'll keep you posted.
Please, you know,
Yeah.
and we will definitely put it out there. Okay. All
Okay.
right. Thank you, Karen. Thank you,
Thank
everyone.
you.
Thank you for this episode, and we'll see you again next month.
Okay, thank you.
All
Bye.
right.